Everybody, Kaoiji here. Now, we know that the 9th anniversary event is currently still ongoing, but with the fact that there's currently nothing new until the 3rd week of the event, let's start going over some of the things about Braver. Now, recently I've been getting asked the question, what am I actually doing to be able to prepare for Braver, considering the fact that we actually don't know these skill trees? And I thought that that was a very good question, so I figured why not dedicate an entire video to be able to go over it. If for some reason you're not aware, Braver actually specializes in using 2 weapons, one of them being Katana, the other one being Photon Bow. Katana specializing in very quick and fast-paced close range combat, where Photon Bow deals with a little bit slower combat, however in mid to long range instances reigns supreme. From what we were able to see during the first headline news report, both of these weapons will actually excel in AoE combat and also single target combat. With an idea on how these weapons currently operate, we can kind of, basically take a gauge on which augments we're going to be needing when it comes to our gear. We're going to be needing melee for Katana, and we're also going to be needing precision for the bow. Having to augment for both weapons, both melee and precision, is going to be proven daunting, but we're still going to try to roll with it. So with an idea on how both the weapons are going to be operating, let's take a look at what the skill tree was back in base PSO2, because even though they've been updating each of the classes to be able to fit the new Genesis model, a lot of the classes and weapons, despite being different, pretty much remain faithful to their original counterpart. Braver as a class is leading me to believe, based on the original skill tree, that we're going to be seeing some sort of critical rate buff on Braver itself. Whether this is a skill that's main class only, or this is a skill that can be used even as a subclass, this pretty much remains the same from the original ability called Braver Combination. Now, Braver Combination previously was a critical rate was boosted when equipped with a Katana or Photon Bow. This also allowed them to be able to maintain their focus gauge when switching between katanas and bow as well. Assuming they bring back this particular skill, it'll actually work well and be able to be paired well with a class like Fighter as your subclass, so that way you're able to deal a ton of damage relatively quickly. I meant to say really, then I said relatively, so relatively quickly is exactly what I said. You're not mishearing things. He'll believe the counter edge ability, Katana focus, these things will come back. Counter edge basically allows you to release an additional strike that skewers enemies when countering, and then Katana focus basically increases the amount of melee potency you have when the focus gauge is charged, and grants a melee power bonus and critical rate when you counter with the focus gauge maxed out. Bravers had a ton of crit rate, although there is one thing that does make me wonder what they're going to do with, because we no longer have the mag abilities. So as many of you guys know, Bravers no longer have what's called Braver Mag, which is an ability that allows you to be able to convert your dex to both melee power and ranged, which now dexterity has been removed and has been converted into floor potency gain. This is something that allowed you to be able to use both weapons pretty effectively, even if you were augmenting for maybe, let's say, just Katana only. Then again, the level of flat potency gain buffs that we currently have in NGS is a lot lower than we did back in base PSO2. So I'd love to see some sort of ability that allows us to be able to incorporate Braver Mag, but like, let's say, converts melee into precision and vice versa. All right, but anyway, now that we've seen the Braver skill tree, we hope that Braver Combination is coming back. We also hope that Katana focus and counter edge and things like these are coming back. We can basically see that Braver was a crit focus class, with also having the added bonus of being a counter focus class. Keep in mind, all of that is completely speculation, and what we did see coming back is we know that Katana combat and a couple other things are coming back, but we don't know how exactly they're going to be implemented. Right, so now with all of that out of the way, we now know that they're a melee focus, precision focus, counter focus, crit focused. They kind of have 4 different ways that they can go about things, but considering the fact that we don't have any crit augments and we don't have any other augments that allow for better parry windows or anything of the sort, we can basically assume that we're going to be only focusing on melee and precision augments this time around. So because I know that I'm going to be using Katana as one of my focus weapons, I've actually been preparing a melee Giant armor series while also playing Hunter. Being able to put things like Form Souls, Gigasmite, Might 3, and Out Secreta on my gear, I've basically been able to, be able to maximize my melee damage. So as far as augments are concerned, I'm focusing on the Gigasmite series, I'm focusing on the Might 3s, Out Secreta 2, and then the Form Soul. Business as usual, nothing's really changing from any of the current melee classes within the game. However, let's say you wanted to be able to build, let's say, a balanced set, something that's more precision and melee focused, you're going to need what's called flat potency increases. So the augments that you're going to be needing are things like Mastery and Ale Domino, and then this would also be one of the rare situations where you'd use something like Ale Note B, which is both a melee ranged weapon potency plus 1%. But again, because we don't know what their skill trees are, I'm personally focusing on melee, and I'm also going to be making another set that's focused on precision, where that way I can use bow and have both of them at the max value. It's currently available in the game without having to worry about anything. That, and also Mastery is incredibly hard to get, so I'm just not even going to work towards that. Forget that augment. Nope, not me. So straight out the gate, we're pretty much looking at some of the same augments that we'd be using for things like Gunner, Ranger, or even Fighter and Hunter. And that's how I'm currently going about my prep, because I'm going to be assuming that katana is going to be scaled off of melee, and I'm going to be using a katana focus when Braver comes out. But again, the thing that happens here is that we also don't know what defense quests are going to bring, and they might bring new augments that allow us to be able to use both weapons a little bit easier, and also allow us to be able to have things like the multi-weapon system work that much better. So only time will tell, and I'm pretty sure I'm going to have like an actual like guide video for the first time ever to be able to go over the augments and other things. And then as far as what subclasses I'm actually going to be working towards is I'm probably going to get additional skill trees for both force and fighter again. And the reason for this as well is because fighter gives us the defeat advantage and defeat PP recovery, which allows us to be able to do increased damage against downed enemies. And then force allows us to be able to regenerate our PP relatively quickly. I did it again. I'm not even going to edit this out anyway. Because assuming, let's say, things like Braver are very PP heavy, then we want to be able to make sure that we have as much PP going into the class as possible. So this way we're able to execute our combos without having to worry about that we're out of PP. So everything's pretty much all speculation until, you know, this is what we exactly know what the skill trees are. And we are going to be finding out sometime later this month being July, or next month in August, whenever they have the next headline news live stream. So yeah, hopefully that answers that question. And you guys are pretty much doing the same thing that I am. I mean, it's really hard to be able to say this is exactly what I'm doing without having the knowledge ahead of time, but hey, this is as close as we can get to right now. Stock up on your might, stock up on your precisions, especially since the fact that when Braver comes out, they will skyrocket in price. Or at least the week before they come out, they're going to skyrocket in price. Also, that leaves the question, how are you prepping for Braver? If you even are you, or what do you want up doing for the next month? Are you just waiting for defense quests, or are you part of the camp that's going to be waiting till winter whenever we have all the available classes except for the Gunblade and Summoner that, you know, and we have more content then. But yeah, let me know your thoughts down in the comment section below, and I'd love to hear them. But anyway, stay awesome, stay beautiful, and I'll see you guys next time. Peace. I'm out.